Question everything, trust nothing, except for your boy CryptoKeeper, even when he doesn't remember to put on his vest. I failed myself, ladies and gentlemen, but that's okay. We're going to get after it. Maybe I'll sneak up while Army Piper backstage is giving us some alpha here in a few minutes. I'll grab it in a minute. All right, so Crypto fam, we see what these markets are doing. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I hope everyone has seen their portfolio pumping. Remember to take profits along the way. We're going to talk about what to do to maximize your portfolio today. We're going to talk about why things seem to be pumping. Where are some potential targets? These are all really important things to watch out for. Buying bottom, selling tops is a great idea theoretically, but it's a really hard thing to do. So we're going to talk about some ways to set yourself up for success. Army's got some really good ideas, related to that. So we'll get into that in just a minute. Let me jump into the chat. First in the chat today, listen, when the guest is first in the chat today, you know you got a good guest. Army Piper said, like smashed. Let's get it. Mr. J is in the house. Crux of Crypto, good to see you. Trade Intuition. Clay, the mother effing great, is in the house as well. Glad you guys are here. Yesterday was wild. Shout out to Tradefly. Tradefly from the Army Piper crew, the Piper Academy crew. He won Trading Wars. So if you guys missed that, go back and watch yesterday's stream. There's like 1,100 people in here. It was going wild. Partially thanks to, obviously, my boy CryptoFace. Shout out to CryptoFace. As always, I appreciate you, brother, if you're out there. What a great show. Tradefly eked it out at the end. And it just showed how difficult Trading Wars is. Some people messaged me privately and said, bro, the winner only ended up winning like $18 up on the final day or whatever. Yeah, because I'm forcing them to spin a shitcoin wheel. I'm forcing them to trade. The time of trade and the time of the day during the trade at which the trading is happening is tough. Everything about it is just freaking tough. All right, so speaking of tough, we got the legend Army Piper in the house. Army, what's up, brother?
What's up, bro?
Glad to see you. Glad you're here. What's up?
Yeah, I'm just sharing this over in the Discord so people can jump in here with us. So
I appreciate it.
Put it on X. Put it on X. Need to get it out to the alumni in the Discord too. So
yes, it is on X. So if you guys aren't following me on X, following Army Piper on X, following the Piper Academy, subscribed over there, bell notifications, all the things. Fix those issues while you can. Now, before we get, let me show the crypto market caps. I want to show you guys right off the bat something to do with one of my sponsors here in a second. But let's look at the market caps. Let's see what's going on. The global market cap is at, let me zoom in, 2.731 trillion with the T dollars. That's up 6.9%. I think a lot of you know which one is leading the way. It's not Bitcoin. It is ETH. Bitcoin's at 69.7. Great to see. Obviously up 13% on the week. ETH is at 37.70, up 20% yesterday. We're going to talk about potentially why up 30% on the week. Glad to see it. Scrolling down through the top 10. You already know what time it is. If Bitcoin and ETH are up, the rest of the markets are pretty well up. Toncoin sitting a little bit flat, but it's been pumping so damn hard. Scrolling on down through. Let's see some other big movers over the last day. There's a couple of them. Uniswap up over 20%. Glad to see that. That probably has to do with some of the ETH stuff. Pepe, little meme coin action, up 32%. Wrapped ETH, well, obviously that's ETH. That's going to roll right along with that. There's some staked ETH. Hold on a second. There's a couple more I wanted to throw a shout out there. Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Arbitrum was up 20%. There's a number of them that were up over 20%. VChain up 4.4%. Glad to see that.
Bro, Pepe, man.
Yeah.
Pepe. Yeah, up 33.7% for the day. It's moved up 4 spots on the market cap. It's now sitting at number 23, according to Crypto Bubbles. So, yeah, it's getting ready to be a top 20 token, man. 26 on there.
Who'd have thought? Yeah. Who'd have thought, man? The meme coin game has become so big. I had a meeting earlier this morning with some of the team from Coochie, and there's just a lot that's wrapped into making these meme coins successful and people being successful surrounding them. You see something like Pepe. I mean, the market cap on Pepe is at 2.8 billion with a B dollars. Think about buying that one at some of the low numbers that some friends have bought them at. Yeah, my boy Honest made, and this is just a small number compared to what some other people have made. My boy Honest turned $300 into like 33K on Pepe.
Wow.
So, yeah, some people have made some big money there. All right, so let me start off with my sponsor, VALINITY. I always talk to you guys just randomly, not randomly, but I always talk to you guys about Validity and how if you're not doing anything with your Ethereum, do something with it. And I want to show you why. Just a real quick breakdown. So my Validity wallet here, I've got actually a couple more of them, but this Validity wallet has $4,383. And here's what I want to show you. I want to show you the value that's here. Okay, let's look at how much I've put in. So if we look at my stakes, right? I've put in 1,603. We're looking right here. Oh, nope, didn't mean to copy that, but $1,603, 575, and 1,000. Right? That's about $2,600. Now, I've staked all that, reverse staked. I've got $4,383 worth of Validity sitting there. Here's the cool part. Let's look at how much yield I've actually been able to pull while this grows and outpaces ETH. So I've got $611 available that I have not yet pulled. I've taken 758, 272, and 478, which some quick math gives me about $1,500 plus 600 available. That's about $2,100 that I've been able to pull and utilize however I want, while my Validity is still sitting there growing at an exponential rate versus Ethereum. So if you guys are not already checking out Validity, make sure to check that out. It's validity.io. Shout out to Sergio, the CEO and creator of Validity. He has been fantastic to work with. So we need to get you checking some of that out, Army. I know you leverage your entire portfolio, but maybe if you just got a little sitting on the side, we can talk about that sometime. All right. Let's kick it off with some charts, dude. Let's kick it off with some charts. Let me show I want to show a couple things here. So let's start with Bitcoin. As always, that is leading the way, and then I'll let Army, the real legend on the charts here, show you what's going on. So pulled a volume profile since March. Okay, wanted to look at. I actually wasn't doing this one so much on time as I was doing a range, and this showed a really solid range happening. Basically right in here. All right. Ultimately, what I was looking at was, all right, where are some really key points? What did we find out? And I think Army came to a similar conclusion, but from a similar answer from a little bit different angle, something like that.
Same but different but same.
Yeah, exactly. 69K is really important. That's the value area high since back in March. All right. We seem to be coming back towards that a little bit right now. We're at 69,224. All right. That point of control down at about 67K. And you can see we bounced here, went all the way through, and then we're going to pull back towards that value area high. And that's what we're pulling back towards now. If we look down on the prime oscillators, we've had a nice little steady increase on the green ribbon here. We've got market cipher with the momentum wave, but it looks like the momentum wave is kind of starting to curve over towards the top. So pay attention to what's happening in conjunction with the rest of the price action. That's what Bitcoin's doing. Now let's check out what ETH is doing. Same thing. I pulled the same volume profile with ETH. Look at this candle. Good God. We're going to talk about why, but this candle on the daily yesterday from $3,066 all the way up to about $3,700, and it's still climbing. We're at $3,744 right now. We'll get into why in just a minute. I do see on the prime oscillators that we are overbought on the how do I say that, Army? So it's on the prime oscillator, but is it just, hey, we're overbought?
Yeah, it's overbought. Matter of fact, if you truncate that, shrink it down a little bit so you can see the top line. Yeah, you see that gold box?
Yep. That's my overbought box.
Yep, that means overbought.
Yep. Market cipher B, the momentum literally going damn near straight up, which was obviously good to see. High IQ oscillator starting to turn over a little bit. The reality is ETH has pumped heavy, and I want to throw out there, when things pump hard like that, there is a big opportunity for it to do what? For it to turn right back around and go the other way. However, that might not be what happens depending on the news that we have going on. Army, talk to me about Bitcoin. One of the things that I want to throw out there that people know is that I mine. And I was just kind of disappointed this month with, not kind of, I was like, damn, that sucks. My mining rewards just weren't what I wanted. And ultimately people are going to say, well, yeah, Keeper, the halving, if they understand anything, it's that. Okay, I get it, right? I see it. It happened. Okay, boom. I know that things are going to turn back around and go towards the upside with it, but it was a big hit. Talk to me about a little bit of what's happening with Bitcoin price action, where you think you could see it going, and why, Army, and this is the important part, why does mining matter, and what are you seeing in that regard?
So If you pull, yeah, there we go. So Bitcoin has been in this downward channel. Going back, let's see here. Since February, we've been in here. A couple of touches on the tops of this, but I keep calling for $52,000 Bitcoin. Which, if you look, it's going to be down here a ways. Matter of fact, let me throw on a rectangle here. This is my T box, and then I've got my little horizontal line. That's the target that I'm actually looking at Bitcoin getting to. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to come down, immediately from this rejection that we're getting right now, because you can see here we're actually are getting a rejection off that top channel piece. Yeah. But let me get rid of the Mexican spaghetti. Shout out to OC Guy. By the way, your second place winner yesterday was OC Guy, and he's from Piper Academy. So also first and second place coming out of the schoolhouse. So yeah, but
they've got a good teacher. That's what it is.
No, those guys are beasts on their own. That's why I put the team together that I have. So but if you look here, I do think that we are going to pull back down here to this range. And the biggest reason why, and this is why your mining is not doing that great, man.
Yeah.
We have a capitulation bubble on the Caprioli hash rate ribbon. And typically when that happens, what this means for those that don't know that are watching, when you get capitulation of miners, this indicator shows you when miners are in capitulation and when they're mining, and you can just see like they've been just cranking out mining. But when they go into this capitulation, that means that miners are selling off their Bitcoin. You got a lot of miners that are still operating on old ASICs right now. You've got miners that are, looking at the difficulty level in some of their older rigs or their setups, their network, their coin system is not up to par, and they are now reassessing how to make their mining setup profitable. And so they're selling some Bitcoin while it's in the high value so that they can get new equipment. That's what's going on right now with your mining stock. But the reason this causes me concern, and the reason that I keep talking about 52K, is because the last time we had this, you can see here, let me get it placed on here. There we go. That was a 16% drop. Actually, no, I think that's actually more like an 18. I missed the wick. There we go. Get that wick. There we go. 20% drop in price. The time before that, we went sideways here. So you might be okay with this one. That's hopefully what we get, where they sold, but the price just went sideways. Go back here. This here was a drop of 41%. Go back here again, even further. This is back in 2021. You can see right there, we had a drop down to of 20%. So in general, we get a 20 to 40% drop when we get a capitulation print on this on the hash rate ribbon. And if we do a 20% pullback, let's just go to where we are right now. We'll even count the already given pullback that we have today off of this rejection and go down to that range. Well, that $52,000 range is a 25%. That $50,000 range is 27%. So, I mean, there it is. There's the 52K. Why is that range the level that I'm watching? Well, that's because if we throw on the fixed range volume profile, we get it on here. There we go. Populate. Thank you very much. That is this whole little range of volume down here and this price action that took place right there. And I can even just, I'll bring it in so you can see it a little bit better.
It'd basically just be revisiting that massive move right there. It's saying, hey, wait a minute. We got to come back here and kind of revisit that area for a minute here because it just took the hell off.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. I think this would be a very healthy retest. I think it would do a lot of shakeout of leverage traders. Love leverage trading, but they do cause a lot of sell pressure and buy pressure, and this would shake a lot of people out so that we have true fair value on the price growth of Bitcoin. But that's what I'm looking at, $52,000 to $50,000, and I don't think that it's going to be a long setup down there. I think when it hits that range, you're going to see a massive amount of buying. That is why I have the box green. It is my all-in point to where I would dump all of my dry powder, not necessarily into Bitcoin, but into the alts and stuff, because if Bitcoin's at that level and does a V-shaped recovery, the alts are going to absolutely moonshot from there. So But that's why at the end of the day, wrapping it back up to your Bitcoin mining issue, that's why your numbers weren't good, man. We're in capitulation. So.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And we knew that it was coming. We knew the rewards were obviously getting cut in half and whatnot. And the reality is technology does continue to advance, and there is better. So like with my Caspa mining, for example, a lot of our machines are pretty damn new. They've already come out with a newer model that, because of how Caspa is mined, you have a set. So I'll give you an example. With my Caspa machines, I have a set amount of energy that I spend every single month per machine. It doesn't matter the terahash of the machine, though, right? So now they just came out with these new machines that are almost twice the amount of terahash for a similar price as the machines from before. And then you're paying the same amount of energy, right? And so as this technology continues to come out and advance, people have to say, okay, well, that's an opportunity for me. Well, most people just don't have an endless slush fund of cash sitting on the side, which is what exactly you're talking about right here. So the Bitcoin miners say, okay, I've got to upgrade to get to that next level. I've got to pull from somewhere. Guess what? I need to sell some. And ultimately, price action is $70,000, which is damn near the all-time high. This is an opportunity for me maybe to upgrade some of my equipment, take that next step forward. And I agree with you, Army. If we take a move down to 52K and everybody's going to be absolutely bearish and scared and all of these things, I think the same thing. Though, it will not be long. It won't, and it will get eaten up because the market makers as well. Because I had a meeting with a market maker earlier today, talking over some stuff and whatnot. These market makers know these points. They know them like the back of their hand, these areas at which, hey, this is really important. And the algorithms that go into some of the AI stuff that they do, et cetera, they take some of these numbers and say, okay, this is an area where if we get to here, we can make a massive amount of money by holding that floor, essentially, et cetera. So there's a lot of opportunities at play actually with a big drop. So I wouldn't be bearish about it at all, other than the fact that you're going to see your portfolio, especially if you have I guess it doesn't matter. You're going to see your portfolio move to the downside, whether you've got millions of dollars, whether you've got hundreds of dollars. You see that move and it can kind of feel depressing. But then the question is, what do you do about it? Do you believe in your thesis, your investment thesis that says, hey, we're still going to 100K, or we're still going to 150, or we're still going to whatever? Or do you just sit on your hands and say, well, I guess if it goes back up, it goes back up? And I think that if you have the opportunity, not financial advice here, I think maybe that's why you have some dry powder on the side, because these dips do happen.
I haven't sold a single bit of my crypto. So
I've had to a couple times just to support, some things at home, but it was a forced, you know what I mean? It was a forced.
Yeah, I have not sold any this cycle. I have reshuffled my portfolio. Yeah, reallocated some weak growths to some stronger growths on pullback, stuff like that. But right now, I am sitting on a pretty decent amount of dry powder that is new money, not sell-off money, that I'm waiting, for that pullback. Now, if it never gets down there, I mean, there are some key levels. 56 to 59K is the golden pocket right now. I mean, it's a strong zone. There's a good volume node there. But, worst case scenario, I am prepared for that 50 to 52K. So if it gets there and it happens, I'll be all in. If it doesn't happen, I didn't sell, and I'm not, planning on. It's not a most likely course of action, if you will. It is just the most dangerous course of action would be that pullback, and it's not dangerous for me hodling with diamond hands. It is dangerous for people that may be buying the tops right now, and then they're going to get flushed out because they're going to get discouraged and sell and fear and and run away from the market and go, I'm never going back.
And then blame the market. And then blame the market.
Exactly.
I've definitely got friends that have done that. Oh, I got screwed on crypto. Crypto as a scam. No, it's not. You just paper handed your bags, because guess what? If you'd have held that scam that you called out before, you would have been up. You know what I mean?
So I had a general, 2-star general. Okay. True story here. Story time with Army Piper. 2-star general at the unit that I was at as I was getting ready to retire, and back in the 2021 pump, he bought Bitcoin at about $50,000.
Oh, 50, okay,
like 50, and he watched it go up and then start to crash back down. And during the bear market, he was like, "I lost so much money in crypto," and I was like, I said, did you sell your crypto? I said, what'd you buy it at, sir? And he went 55,000, 56,000, somewhere in there. I said, did you sell it? He's like, no, I still got it. But I said, then you haven't lost a penny, sir. Just hold it. You'll be okay. Yeah. And then as it started to come back up and rally, like he was really nervous when it was at the bottom. But man, let me tell you, he saw it. He saw it rally back and saw that there was light at the end of the tunnel. And I haven't talked to him since we've been in new all-time highs. But I'm pretty sure he's glad he's listened to me and didn't sell. So
you should definitely shoot him a text and ask him, hey, how those bags looking for you now? I mean, obviously he's only going to be up, 20% or whatever, but still. That's 20%. Like, good luck getting that somewhere else.
20% than down 80. So
yes, which would have been what he would have done if he would have just bailed on his portfolio, which a lot of people do. So let's talk about that portfolio setup. So there is a rule it's an unspoken rule, but it's a spoken rule as well. There's the 80-20 rule. So I want to ask you about this, Army. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you. The 80-20 rule, for those of you that don't know, basically says that 80% of your portfolio should be in top tier, top 10, top 20-esque cryptos, and 20% in the mid to lower cap stuff. Do you subscribe to that investment thesis?
Don't pull this up yet.
I won't.
He's
like, I got my personal wallets pulled.
I gotta hide my numbers here. Hide my amounts here. Where's my eyeball? Where's the eyeball?
I can see what you're doing. I'm trying to see where it is. There is a little. It's just like on your hardware wallets where you can just hide the value.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for on here.
I don't know where that is on there.
All right.
Well, while you're looking for that, let me just say this. I subscribe to that model for really, and I'll just say for myself, I subscribe to this model because I think partially the time at which I got in. And so because I got in at such low numbers, I've been able to substantially, build a portfolio that has made a large amount of money off of that rule. Newer people coming in, you'll hear people say, oh, you're still early, you're still this, you're still that, whatever. I guess I would venture to ask, like, do you think that rule should still or will still, be in place? Are people too greedy by not going by that rule, even if they're newer to the crypto space? Or like, what do you think overall about that idea in crypto?
All right, there we go. I've got it fixed.
Good? We good? You sure? Positive.
Yeah, I had to close some stuff off there so nobody could see my actual numbers here. But cool. Yeah, so I'm 28.6% Ethereum.
Okay.
I'm 19.5% Bitcoin.
Okay. So
and 48. then there's so 48% in Bitcoin and ETH, and then I've got Solana 8.8, USDC. I'm still sitting on quite a bit of that right now.
Yeah.
Caspa at 5.5, Arweave, and then all these others down here. If you go into these others, there's numbers. There's numbers over there. Anyway, go into some of these other numbers, others down here. It's Chainlink, Singularity, Near Protocol. So I'm running about 50% of your blue chip, and then the rest. Right. Up there on that. So, yes, I have a big account.
Yes. I think as newer people get in, as these markets start to slow down, and this is kind of what I want to caution people as well. The days of, with the exception of some of the one-offs, right? You're going to have meme coins that are going to do wild things. You're going to have some random projects, whatever. But the days of buying something and it going up 10,000, 100,000 per, all of these wild ass numbers on more solidified projects, those are over. But that's okay, right? Because the reality is, if I look at one of my ETFs that I'm holding, right? If I look at something in the traditional markets and look at what the portfolio has done over the course of the last year and compare it directly with crypto, the crypto is exponentially larger than that. And so what I think people need to do is figure out how to dial back some of that greed and expectation that says, hey, I'm going to overnight take $5,000 and turn it into $1 million. That's just not a very healthy thought process. And I think that people that do take $5,000 and think that they're going to turn it into $1 million are, for the most part, crazy. Or if they do it, they're incredibly freaking lucky. So I just want to caution people to set up a portfolio that makes sense for you. Does 10% of your value over the course of a year make sense? Are you trying to live off of this? Are you trying to exponentially compound your gains over the years? I think you need to look at really deep into, what am I trying to do with this? What am I willing to lose? What am I hoping to gain? And really map out what that looks like. Because if you just go in blind and just expect something wild out of the numbers from where they're at now, I just think you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. And I think there's so much value still in this 80-20 rule that people don't give credence to. I don't know, just a personal, thought process there. Maybe people are going to say I'm crazy. That's okay. I'm also more risk averse as well. I used to take so much risk in my life, and now I'm just not that guy. That I think that you look for projects, protocols, things that ultimately can give you value, growth potential, but while still being overall solid. What do you got, Army? What are you about to pull up? You got something you're about to pull?
Yeah, I was just checking here to see.
Hey, look what Blockchain Crusader said. So shout out to Crusader in the chat. Said degen's mindset equals broke mindset. Let's be fair, right? There are a lot of degens that have made a ton of freaking money, but he's not exactly wrong either, because the degen mindset is more of the gambling mindset. Tell me how many people that go to casinos. Why are casinos open and do well? Because the house wins, right? That is a fact. That's the only reason the casinos are so damn profitable. The house almost always wins. Well, with the degen mindset, like Crusader is saying, that's a lot of what happens as well. There's going to be one-offs. There's going to be people that are going to do differently than that. There's going to be people that are really good at some of the degen things they do, or have the information that other people don't, etc. But it's not the norm. So I actually do agree with him to an extent. I also think if you get into projects that the team involved, that you can trust the information being presented to you and get in at an early enough point, then you can also take advantage of some of that degen mindset. But it's definitely a balancing act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Memory Mike is dropping wisdom. Yes, absolutely. Memories with Mike. He said, I'm very risky because I need to change my life. I would love millions, but 100K plus would change my life. And that's what you got to take into account when people go, what would you invest 5,000 in right now? There's a lot of variables that go into that decision, right?
Mm-hmm. And your personal situation is at the top of that, right? Because what you would invest in $5,000 and what I would invest in $5,000 and what somebody on the show would invest in somebody else could be wildly different. Like, some of my buddies that do the degen stuff, I asked him, he jumped into Coochie the other day, and I asked him, like, hey, what, did you toss something big in there? And he very casually told me, I'm not going to call him out, but he very casually told me they tossed 30 Solana in. Right, just as if it was nothing, right? I'm like, that's like $5,000 right now, right? Like, but to him, because of his position in his portfolio and the things that he does and the risk that he's willing to take, to him, his answer was no. It wasn't a large amount. That depends greatly on yours.
Yeah, I took my risk in the bear market during the crypto winter. That's where I took all my risk at. I was leverage trading the shorts all the way down to the bottom, and all of the profit from that, which was substantially a lot, is what went into my HODL.
Are you still in that too? Are you still in that like 2x?
No, I got pushed out because Bitfinex and BitGet both went KYC, and I had to close them both out. I'm in a lot of profit on the way back up too. But it took me, I'll tell you this, it took me about a month to get all of my money off the exchange because of the limits you can move every day. So,
you got to literally sit there every single day, $5,000 or whatever their rules are.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But the other thing that I wanted to point out on my portfolio, because I do have a pretty substantial crypto portfolio, but in addition to that, I also have a stock portfolio. And the big one that I've done, so looking here from January is where I made a big shift. I sold off half of my Bitcoin at the time. So the Bitcoin that I showed you is actually half of what I did have. It was my largest holding, but I sold off half my Bitcoin. And if you look and see where we are to now, that is an 81% move that Bitcoin would have made since then, right? But what I put it into was CleanSpark and MicroStrategies. And if we go back and look at CleanSpark from that January time period till now, that is a 187% move. So it's 100% greater than what I would have made on my Bitcoin. And then the other part went on MicroStrategies. And if we look at MicroStrategies from January to now,
Look at that chart.
That is 276%. So the half of Bitcoin that I sold off to get to put into these stocks has outperformed my Bitcoin that I left in Bitcoin.
I got to ask you, Army, what was it that sparked you? So people always look at people that make a decision like that as an example, right? What was it that drove you to make that decision? Because a lot of people would tell you, wait a minute, you're getting out of Bitcoin to get into something in the stock market. Are you freaking nuts? Right. But you've outperformed on both of those. And the interesting part is MicroStrategy. The only reason MicroStrategy is doing what it's doing is because of freaking Bitcoin. So talk to me about what the thought process. Well, it's not the only reason, but I'm just saying, like, it is backed by, and you're going to show it to me? All right, show it to me.
This is it right here. This is exactly it. This is what I did. I set down Bitcoin next to CleanSpark on a weekly chart, and I compared last cycle to what outperformed Bitcoin. And then I looked at what could happen this cycle. And the big one, honestly, was when I looked at Marathon, which did not have the hash rate or the setups going into the bull cycle.
That's a mining company, right? Mara or whatever?
Yeah, Marathon Digital. Yep, they're a Bitcoin mining company. They did not have this bull run, the equipment network setup that CleanSpark had, which is why I chose CleanSpark over Marathon. But if I go here and find Marathon, I'll show you what happened the last bull cycle.
Oh, it was a huge move. My accountant made a bunch of money on, or my tax guy made a bunch of money on. There you go.
So this is, let's go back to last cycle here. This is Bitcoin on the left. Yeah. And Bitcoin did 2,109%. From that same period of time, Marathon did 21,800%. So it was a no-brainer for me to go, you know what? I'm going to find what the strong market movers are for this cycle for Bitcoin mining. I'm going to sell half my Bitcoin. I'll keep exposure with half of it. The other half, I'm going to move into exposure on the stock side. I chose MicroStrategy and CleanSpark, and I have absolutely crushed my gains on that in comparison to if I had kept it in Bitcoin. So
good for you, dude. That's really impressive. I think so many times we get so lasered in, and this is part of what I wanted to talk about a little bit today. We get so lasered in on just crypto when the reality is there's opportunities for investments all over the place. But why was Army able to do that? He was able to do that because he was actually able to sit down and analyze and compare how things, you know what I mean? You were able to say, okay, I don't have to just be in crypto, but maybe I could be in something that is crypto related that has outperformed in the past. Like you always hear, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes or whatever. And ultimately that played out fantastic for you there. Like absolutely fantastic. That played out. You couldn't ask for that to go better. Are you still in those positions, by the way, or no?
Yeah, I'm in both of them. Matter of fact, if you pull up the other play that I did in October, this is NVIDIA. And NVIDIA, I got into them because their AI chip front, the AI movement is going to require chips. The computers that they're putting out right now are able to replace like 200 plus computers because of the computing power and machine learning that they do, which means that all the federal government, all these companies, all these big institutions, they're all going to go for the new computer. They're going to be buying new computers because they can get rid of old computers, one, and two, it's cutting down the energy usage massively to use one computer versus 200. So NVIDIA, I'm super bullish on, and their earnings come out tomorrow at market close, by the way. So, but on that one, on that stock move, I'm up 142% since October when I picked that up. So yeah, I've got a nice diversification of stocks, very selectively picked out. And then my cryptos, my big stock plays are MicroStrategy, CleanSpark, NVIDIA, Amazon. And then I've also got some defense contract stocks from Booz Allen Hamilton, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Spirit Aeronautical. So just totally good place. Good place. So
no, good for you, dude. Good for you. Hey, fam, if you have not smashed the like, do that. If you're not following Army Piper over at Piper Academy, make sure to do that. His link is down below the stream. I've got great stuff from Army. He's been coming on every week. Really appreciate that for sure. So let's go into, I want to dive into some things that are happening in the Ethereum ecosystem here in 1 second. There's a lot. There's a lot. Actually, let's just go right into that. So I want to share my screen. Let me get off I was actually had a coochie chart pulled up. I was looking at something real quick. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up. So I've got kind of 3 different things I want to show here. 25,000 ETH lands on Robinhood. what's happening. All right, a significant move, which is 25,000 ETH, had been transferred to an unknown wallet to the popular trading platform Robinhood. The substantial move, valued at nearly $92.1 million, has sparked significant speculation and discussion among investors and analysts. The $25,000 move was made in 2 transactions, indicating a purposeful and deliberate action. The wallet involved in the transfers was previously unknown, making it difficult to determine the fund's origin or owner. Crypto data tracker Whale Alert has reported 2 transactions involving $12,500 worth of ETH. About $46 million each were moved from the same unknown wallet to Robinhood. Now, the reason remains unknown, but there's several speculations at hand. Investor or a large fund might be preparing to enter the Ethereum market through Robinhood. That's be institutional interest, right? Okay, boom. The transfer could be attributed to a crypto whale that holds a bunch of crypto, right? They obviously will move to an exchange when they plan to sell or whatever. Or the owner of the funds might be preparing for a strategic move, anticipating some future price movements. So why would they do that? Well, we're going to talk about it. Allegedly, so this is this definitely participated in the huge move with ETH. I've got one more article in a minute that we'll get into why actually I believe, and Army and I were talking about this before the stream a little bit, that might be even the next step as to really why this is happening. But allegedly, SEC is preparing to approve spot ETH ETFs. According to Reuters, the U.S. SEC requested corrections to the ETF filings of NASDAQ and CBOE on Monday. They claimed that the sources that said the SEC may be ready to approve the ETH ETF. So on this news alone, Army, or not so much alone, but when this move or when this information came out, all of a sudden ETH just goes absolutely, bonkers, right? Up, let me look right now. It's up, ETH is, I scrolled too far. ETH is up 30.3% on the week. Basically, there's a little bit of a pullback that's happened, but about 20% on the 24 hours. Do you see this ETH ETF? We've talked about it a lot, but do you see it actually happening, or is somebody playing games in the markets?
Yesterday morning, I did not think it was going to happen because one of the Bloomberg analysts that I follow a lot said there was a 10% chance that it was going to get approved in May. And then later on in the day,
same day,
SEC, same day,
66% chance or something wild like that.
Yes, 75.
Okay,
it
even better.
Yeah. But if you actually pull up my screen, this was my thumbnail yesterday morning at 9:30 a.m. Big moves coming, even with the 10%. And I talked about this on my show yesterday morning at 9:30 and said, look, there's things going on with Ethereum right now. And yes, there's $46 million in sell-off that's already occurred. There's a potential of $23 million more that is coming if they do not get this approved. And that's, now you're looking at dollars in Ethereum sell-off. But I said what I'm seeing on the charts, and let's jump over to the charts here, and I'll show you guys what I had on here. This is literally what I was talking about yesterday morning before any of that info came out. I said, we have had a super strong retest. And I'm looking at 12-hour candles here, so you can see for how long this 50% line at $2,875 has shown support. And then we came up and we were pushing on the dynamic reactor at the top of this falling channel. And I said, look, guys, all of this sell-off has happened, and we have not been able to break this buy level. When it hits $2,875, the buying pressure flips so great that it picks up all the selling pressure, absorbs it, and pumps it back up again. Yeah. If we haven't dropped from this, the ETF, this information that is going to be not be happening most likely, is what I said yesterday, doesn't change the narrative. We're in a bullish pattern, period. This is a bullish pattern. We have very strong support. We're creating a wedge now also, and in addition to this falling pattern because of this support line down here. I said, you take all of that into account. When we break this, we're going to move.
Yeah.
And then the SEC information came out later in the day, and it really made it happen. So at the end of the day, yeah, fundamentals moved it, but it was in a bullish setup already. All it needed was a catalyst, and that SEC information gave it the catalyst it needed. That's why I knew yesterday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, my time, 8 a.m. on the East Coast, that Ethereum was going to be big news this week, and big moves were coming, as it said on the thumbnail. So again, my alumni I doing my Monday morning thumbnail trading. So
I love it. I love it. And you know, so we look at news, right? We pay attention and we say, okay, well, is that really what's happening here? Is that really what's driving the SEC, right, to approve? I think there's more at play here. And you and I were talking about this, right? So we have bipartisan bill for blockchain competitiveness passes U.S. House. The Deploying American Blockchains Act of 2023 gives the Commerce Department a role in advancing blockchain technology. All right, let's talk about it. As the crypto community awaits the House of Representatives vote on the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century, that's FIT 21 Act, it passed another more modest pro-crypto bill, the Deploying American Blockchains Act of 2023. It was approved by a margin of 334 to 79. The bipartisan bill directs the Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo, to take actions necessary and appropriate to promote the competitiveness of the United States in blockchain technology or other distributed ledger technology. The bill establishes the Secretary as the principal, listen to this, as the principal presidential advisor on blockchain and gives the Secretary several responsibilities that include policy development, research, and promotion of the technology. It also mandates the formation of an advisory committee for the Secretary to be made up of governmental, industry, and academic and cultural representatives, and to present an annual report to Congress. Okay, if you didn't figure this part out, this basically says, SEC, you ain't making decisions no more for the crypto space, right? I hope the algo didn't just pick that up, but whatever.
You were saying that number one. SEC's number one.
Number one. Yeah, number one. Effectively, is that what I'm reading here, Army? It feels like that's what I'm reading. It feels like it's saying, hey, the SEC, step aside. You're not going to be in control for too much longer.
Yeah, so a lot of people yesterday got wrapped up in the ETF stuff, and this is what's moving crypto, guys. This bill is what moved crypto yesterday. If you get outside of the echo chamber of the crypto space, like I said, I have a lot of stocks, so I listen to a lot of institutional and economic news also, and so that's why I picked up on that, and I was like, this is the real reason it's moving. The Ethereum SEC on top of it is why ETH pumped the way it did in comparison to everything else. So yesterday was very bullish news for the crypto space in general. But yes, you're absolutely reading that right. It strips away some powers and authorities of the SEC. It's just another nail in the coffin of the SEC and their touch points on crypto. I do believe that we're going to see this move heavily into the CFTC, where crypto is a commodity. It's digital property. Yeah. And we're going to see this whole panel, and SEC is going to get stripped away. I'm very, very bullish. Matter of fact, one of the things I read yesterday said, crypto is now politicized.
Yes.
Take all of your price predictions and throw them out the window. We're going much higher, because when politicians get into things on any topic, it goes parabolic, whether it be defund the police or whether it be how high is Bitcoin going to get with the SEC's dirty hands off of it. And that's the bottom things that you got to look at. If you look at my chart at my screen real fast, this was put out by the Wolf of All Streets, and he said Democrats pushed back against Biden and Warren and voted for crypto. The FDIC chair that Warren was privately protecting and who orchestrated Choke Point 2.0 is stepping down. The ETH ETFs are likely approved now as a result of the tide change. Absolutely amazing. And if we go back one more here, I've got this one here, guys. Look. This came out this morning. The House Democrats will not whip votes. You know, the House whip, he's supposed to push people, cracking the whip, right? Getting people to vote the way they need to vote. They are not whipping votes against the two crypto bills. They did verbally say they strongly oppose them, but they are not voting against them, and they're not whipping people to vote against them. The FIT 21 Act claims to clarify crypto regulations, while the CBDC Act seeks to prevent the issuance of U.S. CBDCs. Democratic leaders argue that these bills undermine security laws and monetary policy. However, they are not using any of their tricks of the trade that they have there to get votes to go the way that they want them to go. This is bullish in my opinion, and when I'm seeing this. And I do want to talk about this one more bookmark that I've had here since January 1st. I talked about this on my show in relationship to that CBDC comment. And what I said back here was 20 2024 predictions. The economy won't collapse. The treasury won't treasury market won't become illiquid. Half of the population of Europe is not going to freeze. Oil is not going to spike to $200 a barrel. There won't be a civil war. There won't be a USCBDC. January 1st, I talked about this stuff and said this may be the most important post on X. Tag it, bookmark it, put it there for the rest of the year. These bills are now coming out. And like I said, at the end of the day, you can go back to two screen. At the end of the day, politics, they're getting on board with the crypto. It's going to be a major talking point. It's going to be a narrative, major narrative coming up this year with elections. And because of that, you're going to be bringing a lot of attention to this that was not there before. People are going to be hearing about crypto that never even heard about it inside of their circles because of this news that's coming out from Washington, D.C. on crypto. So
I think it's like everything. What's that? Shout out to
FD White. Yeah.
FD White's in the chat. What's up, FD? Actually, FD White, I need you to send me a hit me up on X, brother. I want to ask you something. Okay, so check this out. It's the Dog and Pony Show. That is politics through and through. And so the reason that I think that this is going to go the way that it is because of, drum roll please, money. Oh, there's a surprise. I know everybody's really surprised to hear money. Oh, that's perfect.
Money.
God, I gotta get my sound effects in check. Yeah. So this comes down to money. I think that, and I've said this in the past, but I want to reiterate it. I think that we have gotten to the point where, all right, you've got a Bitcoin ETF. You have a possibility of an Ethereum ETF. They're pushing back, or we are pushing back, or whoever is pushing back, or at least optically, it looks like we're pushing back against the SEC. They're at a point where backs up against the wall, and it's like, wait a minute, this crypto thing is succeeding. It's succeeding. Now, I got my back up against the wall. I've got this thing in front of me that isn't going to stop. Am I going to jump on their team, or am I going to let it crush me? And these politicians are willing to do whatever it takes to make their money and put themselves in positions to make said money. And so I think that verbally, a lot of it is just that. It's just chatter. It's the Dog and Pony Show. It's like, hey, I'm going to say this because politically this is what I'm, told to say. It's just like with Jamie Dimon telling all his employees, you can't own Bitcoin. I'll fire you if you're buying Bitcoin, whatever. And then the man is in the background loading up on Bitcoin because he knows, hey, this is the real deal. I can make a ton of money on this, and I see where this is headed. Politicians are seeing the same thing, and it's finally like really slapping people in the face. Like, if I don't jump on the team, and maybe even not verbally jump on the team, but like financially jump on the team, I'm going to get left behind. And I think that they're just,
or at the very least, don't openly oppose it.
Yes, exactly. Right. Maybe I won't just push back. Maybe I won't say anything. Right. But I won't be doing all the chaotic, just outspoken, chaos that has been against crypto. And so I think that it's going to be good for crypto as a whole. And I do think, and I know people hate hearing this, but I do think that some of the regulatory stuff does need to happen. And I think that it is going to be important going forward, because if we stay the Wild West as they see it in crypto, it's still going to discourage a lot of the players at hand to move over into the crypto space. And I think we're talking about the tokenization of the stock market and looking further and further down the road. The reality is blockchain is winning, and people want to be associated with winners. They want their portfolio to be winning. They see you have to be stupid. You walk up to somebody random on the street and say, hey, you got a stock portfolio? Yeah. Okay. You got a crypto portfolio? Yeah. Let's compare the two. Right, almost across the board with the one-offs and the exceptions, like you were showing, Army. Right, with your expertise there, the crypto portfolios are going to outperform those stock portfolios 99 times out of 100.
It's definitely cherry-picked diversification there that I have. So
right,
it is. I would not put the S&P against crypto as a whole. Like, no, not at all.
No. And so the bottom line is that they either jump on board, or like you said, just not verbally oppose it, or they go down with the ship. And I don't think any of them are wanting to go down with the ship. And then the next great part is, now politicians love to talk, right? Now they've got a talking point that's going to allow people and show people how they can make money and how they support this thing that's making people money. They support this thing that ultimately is decentralized and for the people and of the people. And guess what? Now the politicians get to finesse what is, you know, a talking point in crypto. And I think that they're going to full on take advantage of that as well. And it'll be nothing but good for the space, because there's going to be people that otherwise do listen to these politicians and do not make moves until they hear, you know, well, I need to hear from this person that this is safe or this is okay or whatever. So
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how quick it happens. I think that the facts are that it's headed up and to the right. How fast some of these things go through, how fast the House, you know, passes through all of the information at hand, I don't know. How fast will we get the ETH ETF? I don't know, but it looks as if it's going to happen. And yes, just like bullish, perfect right there. There it is. You just sit there all day and talk as the
this is how I feel about crypto right now, right there.
as the bull. So Corey says, got my boss in stocks to buy $300 in crypto a few months ago. He sold the bags at 2K value. It makes no sense. Hey, but let's look at it, right? Your boss put $300 into crypto and made it 700%. I'll bet you he was freaking ecstatic. I'll bet your boss was like, what the hell is this? Right? Like, he's not experiencing that in the stock market. That's just a fact.
Throw out your price predictions. We're going much higher is what you should have told your boss, first off. Secondly, make the recommendation when next time that he does something like that, at least take out your initial investment or even sell half. That way you've got your initial investment and some profit and leave the rest of it to ride on free money. That's how you handle that. So
yes, for sure. I'm with you. Just to touch on two meme coin stuff, guys, as always, none of this is financial advice, just doing a quick check-in. Tonald is at 1.16 million right now. We've been doing some consolidation in this area right here. Nice little bit of consolidation. So that's at 1.16 million. And that's on obviously Toncoin. And then 4.24 million over on Coochie. Look at this chart, dude. This is on an hourly. I mean,
it's insane.
This thing has but it's a beautiful chart, right? Like it literally
is.
There's some nice pullbacks, obviously, you know, throughout there, but we continue to make higher low. This is just a beautiful freaking chart. So yeah, I'm excited to see.
Coochie is very quickly moving up on my my pick for this cycle. My SHIB pick, if you will, is Pepe. I think Pepe, they have an amazing community, and I think they're going to be the SHIB of this cycle when it comes to meme coins. But Coochie is very quickly moving up on that list. Yeah. So
there's some big names getting in there too. I know a lot of stuff going on in the background. So you know, again, none of this financial advice, but if you want to get into the meme coin casino, right? You know, jump into projects that you know people involved in actually want to see you win and aren't here to rug you. All right, so Army, what do you got going on your side of things? We're going to wrap up the show here in just a second. 9:30, right? 9:30 every single day, Monday through Friday.
Standard time.
Right?
Yep, Monday through Friday.
And
me, OC guy, and TradeFly.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Two of the three that were in the finals yesterday, one of which won. So guys, if you're looking for some fantastic content that is heavily, you know, they talk about the news for sure, but get into a lot of TA, a lot of strategies, a lot of ideas that have worked for a lot of people. And I think you guys do a great job of teaching. Make sure to check out Piper Academy. Their information is down below the stream. I just appreciate you for coming on as always, Army. You got anything else you want to leave the people with?
If we do get a little pullback, look at it as opportunity. Don't be scared. Be prepared. That's the best advice I can give.
Be prepared. That's how I've continued to win over the years, has been being prepared, taking advantage of dips, and you know, continuing to hold tight. So, all right, fam, I love you. You could have been anywhere on what is today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, you could have been anywhere on Tuesday, but you're hanging out with Crypto Wars. We appreciate you. Question everything, trust nothing, except for your boy CryptoKeeper and Army Piper. And until next time, hodl like it's hot. We'll see you soon.